So that puts him effectively in the top 8 in the European Championship.
European Championships is a funny thing for a Canadian to understand. I'm like, so you guys are racing within our race? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that happens.
Nice lines through the bend away there, or the tabletops, and does a pretty good job of keeping the sled quiet going into Kailstein.
So Rudy Rinaldi of Monaco, the race leader with 9 to go in the first heat. It was very close inside as well as outside the top 10. And a really solid run for the Netherlands' Ivo de Bruin. Now, after a great result yesterday in the two-man, Ivo with 14th and 11th in the season openers in Winterberg, which is a double four-man weekend. He was 14th again last week in Altenburg. But 9th place here.
Ivo's been really doing a good job of executing during the race in the last couple, and they've had some pretty good top results, and I think he's pretty excited to keep building on those. Oh, and we had a little struggle getting in.
That long leg of Dennis Venke, the man at 3, they did get in. How much did it cost them in terms of momentum? Only 9th fastest speed through the first clock.
Yeah, so it looks like they had 300ths faster on the start, but again, that plays a massive factor in losing speed velocity when you struggle on the load.
However, if his brain is in the right place, he can just leave that behind him. Look at the speed, 113.5, 17.5 miles an hour.
Oh, and that's a great exit out of Kreisel.
Really starting to fly now. This is where he found speed in the first heat. The Eurotech sled is good. 500s in it, 4th fastest. He's quicker than Rudy Rinaldi at the line. Yes, 200s. All right, that's all he needed. He shrugs off. He doesn't know what happened behind him, but he knows something happened behind him because you don't have eyes in the back of your head, but you feel the motion in the sled, right?
You definitely feel it. You all, as a pilot, you can sense it when something didn't go quite right in the back. So I'm sure he's just thinking about it the whole way down.
9th place.
Not to think about it the whole way down.
That, I'm pretty certain, his best ever World Cup four-man result.
And he was only 300ths behind Marcus Streichel, so we'll see if maybe it would be good enough to move up one position. And you can see here, this is where Dennis's leg kind of got stuck outside the sled. He had to lift it up and move her. That shows some good flexibility.
Those Dutchies, they're all too tall. Well, see, now, if he hadn't been in the lake, he would have got in properly. Or if he hadn't been in the lake, he wouldn't have got in properly.
Yeah.
One or the other.
Yeah, probably the second one.
Okay, that is his first top 10 finish and his career high in four-man bobsled.
Another great weekend for the Dutch.
Yes. Now then, Marcus Streichel. This could be a big, big weekend for him as well. Potential top 8 finish, top 6. Don't forget, bronze medal for Austria's Kati Meyer yesterday in the European Championship. Top 6 in the Europeans beckons for Streichel.
4:91. So they tied their start time for the first. Nice exit out of Schmiel. Brings it back in to start this S prelim. Biggest part here is how he gets out of S4. That's pretty good. I mean, he took the right tap first, but there was no skid or anything, so it costed too much.
This is a classic post-Olympic season. We're already seeing some of the new up-and-coming drivers really stepping out into the sunlight and not blinking, but performing 200ths of a second in it with Ivo de Bruin. This is for 8th place minimum.
Oh, it's down to ties.
Could be a tie, but he hasn't got the speed that de Bruin had. What's he got at the line? 300s back. It gets better and better for Ivo de Bruin. There's Dennis Venke.
Yeah. 300s back and he falls 2 positions.
Yeah.
That's a tough one for Streichel on a pretty decent run.
Yeah, top 3 now covered by 300s. Well, Marcus Streichel will be disappointed. We go to his hometown, Innsbruck in Austria, next weekend. Another chance for him.
And this is probably the only big mistake he made, was coming out and touching on the right-hand wall. And again, it's not detrimental, but when we're talking about 300ths of a second, it makes all the difference.
Last week he was 8th in Altenburg, his career best in four-man in a short World Cup career as a driver at least. And now guaranteed a top 10 finish. But a sigh, disappointment. You know, he's recalibrated already. Yeah. Top 10 isn't quite the same as 8th or 7th.
Yeah, it's tough. This is a tight race.
Yes, it is. All right, here we go. Justin Kripps of Canada next up. led the two-man race yesterday, again took a silver medal, 7th here, but the two sleds in front that are tied for 5th are only 200s away. This is hugely tight.
488 on the start. Just 100th slower than their first, and I'm sure Kripps is looking to move up a couple positions here if possible. Well, this is his favorite track.
Yeah, 900s ahead of Ivo de Bruin. He's now 2300s up, but has skid off S4.
And that's going to hurt him. You don't really notice it right away, but it's where that you start to notice when those mistakes are made.
Great speed, 1:13.3. Only Justin Olsen's US sled was quicker there. 1900s, the gap has come down by nearly a 10th. Top speed, Justin Olsen fastest at the bottom, and Kripps is not quite so close, but he will have enough to hold off Ivo de Bruin, and he will guarantee himself the lead with 6 to go. However, in terms of the European Championship medals, Kripps is invisible, so Ivo de Bruin is still potentially in 4th, 5th position. Yes, because we take up Yun Jong-won as well, so potentially a top 6 European medal for Ivo de Bruin.
Kripps just didn't quite have enough pressure to come off that straight, and the sled broke into a little bit of a skid. He does a really good job of getting it back, and through the tabletops here, sled takes a big hit going into Kelstein.
Well, there is Justin Kripps, double silver medalist in two-man, the Olympic two-man champion. Dennis Venker and the Dutch guys offer their congratulations. Canada lead, 6 to go. And so in 5th place, after first heat, is Nico Walter. No, I haven't lost my mind or the ability to count. They were tied for 5th. He's got Eddie the Eagle at 2, Alexander Rödinger at 3, and Eric Franke at 4, who'll be back on the sled.
And Nico nursing a bit of an injury. We're not sure, some sort of leg injury.
Yeah, it looked like a hamstring yesterday as he got out of the two-man race. This is his new FES sled. You can see the different colour yellows on it. This is the brand new piece of kit this season. And sitting in at the start, somehow, they not only had the 15th fastest start, but he drove to 5th place.
Yeah, he put down a smoking run on the first one.
5 dead, 200ths of a second slower on the 3-man start. I think that's still hugely impressive from the guys.
Very impressive, not only pushing with 3 guys, but to have an extra 90-something, 100 kilos in it. And nice clean exit out of S4.
Coach Matthias Höfner leaning over the wall, watching the drive. 1:13.4, great speed, second fastest to Olsen. FES 4-man is flying, 1100s back, he's closing down. He was a 10th behind at the start with much less velocity. Here we go, is he going to catch?
Speed, it looks like he's coming up.
Quicker than Kripps, it's going to be close. Oh, he is going to run out of track, you read it right, there's the driver's eye. 49.38, still there's Hubie, congratulating his driver on a magnificent effort with no speed at the start. Somebody pulled off a couple of plug leads from their V8 at the start and they spluttered away from the line with less power than you would expect. Nico probably feeling the pain as well, I would think.
Yeah, it's got to be tough after hurting yourself and then still get. Bobsledding's not an easy sport to do when you're feeling great. So even going through there, I'm sure every little bump he's feeling.
Yeah, it's burning, and that takes a fraction of concentration away. You know, that's why you need the adrenaline to isolate the brain from the outside.
Absolutely, but sitting in and just having that Hawks focus, and Nico does a great job of navigating the sled down, and to be as high as he is while sitting in, you can't be too upset with that.
Over 2 heats, 300s behind Justin Kripps, who's got a 4-man healthy start. That's an impressive performance from Nico Walter, last year's winner here. 5 to go, race 4 of the BMW IBSF 4-man bobsleigh World Cup. We're in Königssee, Bavaria. Martin Haven and Canadian driver Alicia Rissling making her World Cup commentary debut as Yun Jong-won, our Olympic silver medalist in 4-man, gets ready for the final run.
Oh, and another little bit of a slip there. The guys do a good job of getting in, but the sled kind of skids out of the grooves, but he brings it back over and gets in. A little bit of a rough entrance into Clifford Mill, which really sets you up for these S's, so you've got to make sure that you have that dialed in.
Now, with all this warm temperature. I wonder if the start track is starting to get mushy and ice is getting stuck in the spikes as they're sprinting.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, and it is warm out in the rain, so it does make loading that much more difficult.
Great speed, fastest equal from Yunjong-Won. He's in second, 1100s back, but this is where he really started to motor. Kreisel on down in the first heat, and this is where the Hyundai sled was flying in a way that the two-man wasn't. 100th behind, he's going to overhaul Justin Kripps at the line. He's quicker than Kripps. No, he doesn't. 49.36, Kripps had 300s more than him and was only 200s behind. How tight a race do you want here?
They're definitely making things interesting for us, and I'm sure Juan's wondering right now where that went wrong, but they did a really good job, and he's happy to be here, and crowd loves the Koreans. It's hard not to. He's the nicest guy on tour.
Best ever four-man result in Europe, a 5th position now.
Just a little mistake out of S4 coming off, and immediately just wiggling the runners and getting the sled to straighten out for him.
Takes the steer late off the Kreisel and down through the labyrinth, but he kept the speed on board. Big height there.
Big height in Kailstein.
Yeah, and you saw the big runner marks it makes. You know, they're round runners, but all that friction.
And the fact that we can see those runner marks is telling you how soft the ice is right now.
And he's in virgin territory. There are no other runner marks up there.
Yeah.
Okay, 4 to go. Now we're looking at the medals. Not at Justin Kripps and Yunjong-Won, who are our top 2, separated by 100th from Nico Walter, 300s back, but ahead to the 3 remaining sleds. Can Maxim Andrianov claim his first four-man World Cup medal of the season after a pair of 5ths and a 6th place this year?
Great load by the Russians, and 491. So they dropped 200s there, which you need every little bit when you're trying to find the medals. But he had a great drive on the first one, trying to do that again for this team.
Former luge slider before he came into bobsleigh, so he understands pressure, he understands feel. And that's why he's developing so quickly as a bobsled driver.
113, so he has the same speed as
Well, this season has seen comfortably his best four-man results, 2 5th positions and a 6th, and he is on target if he finishes where he started, ahead of Justin Kripps and Yunjong-Won for his best ever result, but he's challenging for the medals. That is a huge run, 49.13, that's only 300s slower than his first heat. That is a huge run. That really puts the pressure on the top 3. He could be in the medals for the first time in his career.
Absolutely. That was a really good runner. He had a great exit out of Kreisel and able to keep his speed through the bottom part of the track. And he's putting the pressure on to try and climb into the top 3. He's only 1,300s out of first, so we'll see. These next 3 sleds are going to be exciting. We might see a couple changes in position.
Yeah, could well do. Great bend away and great control in the Kreisel. Slight late height doesn't affect him. There is Maxim Andrianov, your leader, with 3 to go. Can he take a medal? Can he take a European medal as well as a World Cup medal? 3 to go. Here is Francesco Friedrich, the world and Olympic four-man bobsled champion. 600ths of a second cover the top 3. This is where it gets deadly serious.
83 at the start, so just 100th slower than the first. And if we know anything about this Olympic champion, is he knows how to lay down an amazing second heat, so expect nothing but awesomeness out of this heat.
4 straight wins this season in two-man. He's won the last 2 four-man races as well. Accidentally forgot to win the season opener in Winterberg. That was Nico Walter's victory, but Friedrich in the lead by 3/10. He was 700ths ahead of Andrianov. This is Friedrich laying it down. This could be the gold medal winning run. Still nearly 3/10 up. He's lost a fraction in terms of speed, but at the line, 48.93, fastest run of the day so far. Big applause from René Spies and from the conditioning coach, Gert Leopold. They like what they see. Now, that's the run you need to video if you want to know how to drive a four-man, not his first heat, which was kind of mistake city as far as he's concerned.
Yeah, he made a couple of critical mistakes on the first heat, and this is more what we expect out of Friedrich. So a great job, and it's going to be tough for these next two guys to keep their position.
Look at that.
Yeah, he does a good job of just threading through. Just a light tap. Guys don't really move around, so that's not costing you much in terms of speed.
Bit of air time, bit of height there as well. But he handles the drop-off well, doesn't lose too much speed. Francesco Friedrich, boy, what a season he is having. Francesco Friedrich leads, 2 to go. Friedrich, Andrianov, Kripps, the top 3. Oskars Kiebermanis of Latvia on a rare vein of form in 2- and 4-man this season. 2 fourth-place finishes in Winterberg, silver medalist in Altenburg. He goes as well on the German tracks as the Germans do.
Kiebermanis is one of the best bobsled pilots in the field, and he's definitely dominant in the 4-man. These guys had the fastest push time in the first heat, so they'll be looking to keep that up, and he's going to need to if he wants to compete with Friedrich's second run.
Yeah, Friedrich's laid down such a smoking run. These guys are not trying to drive away from him now. They're being hunted down. What's he got? 477. What a start!
They knew they needed it, and they came out with it. So now it's up to Kiebermanis to
400s of the World Championship start record of 473 from Oskars Melbardis and his crew.
Which is impressive because the start is not nearly as quick this week.
Not remotely close. A 10th up.
He's having a great run so far. Did a really good job in the bend away. Nice looking line through Kreisel.
Great speed as well, but slower than Friedrich. 400s in it. He had a good run through the lower labyrinth. This is going to be to the 100th of a second. Kiebermanis, if he goes down, is going down fighting 300ths of a second.
Can he hold on?
Second fastest, he will! He holds on, 48.91!
Wow.
Wow! Sandis Brusis and the Latvian coaches love that, and so does Oskars Kiebermanis. Last year in this race, the last race before the games, Oskars Melbardis tied for the silver medal with Benny Meyer, and the winner was Nico Walter. We're going to have a different looking top 3 because we've now got Kiebermanis leading Friedrich and Andrianov.
Yeah, it was a great run by these guys, and also like amazing push. And they needed that and that was the difference in them holding on by 400ths.
Wow. Phenomenal stuff. They had the fastest push in the first heat, and they sliced some fat off it in the second. Fantastic stuff from the Latvians. So now, is he going to win? Or is the crowd right? Is Johannes Lochner, the local boy from Berchtesgaden, just 3 or 4 miles up the road, going to do this? Florian Bauer moves up to 2. Mark Rademacher in at 3, where he was the second man last week, and Christian Rasp on the back in 4. So the same crew, but they're just shuffling the positions around to try and make the load better. They didn't load perfectly in the first heat. 3rd fastest start. That's neater.
It's neater, but it wasn't quite as quick. But 482, that's definitely a lot quicker than they had on the first one.
Now, 100th behind Kiebermanis from the start, and that speed, the velocity that Kiebermanis and Latvians have, is still haunting Lochner until he gets out of the S's, gets a good exit, 500s back.
Yeah, these nice quiet taps in the bend. That's what you want to see, is really keeping the speed going into Kreisel.
1:13.5, excellent speed. Only Francesco Friedrich has been better. 400s up. This is Hansi Lochner heading towards victory, perhaps.
This is his home track, and his home crowd's going crazy out there. They're expecting to see a gold medal.
And it is going to be gold. The 4-man world champion on this track wins again. Oskars Kiebermanis 2nd, and Francesco Friedrich takes 3rd. And Hansi Lochner wins again in Königssee, and for a 3rd straight year is the European 4-man bobsleigh champion. So for Lochner, 3rd and 2nd in Winterberg, 4th in Altenburg after a crash the previous day in the 2-man that burned his shoulder. Yeah. And now his first win of the season.
And you can see that shoulder pad on there.
He's wearing a Burns vest. He's got big padding there over the raw skin underneath it, or flesh underneath it. There is no skin left. Great effort from the boys.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're happy in doing this as well for Christopher Weber, who was injured in that crash as well, and unable to bobsled after getting a skin draft.
Yeah, so he's had a skin draft, some plastic surgery. Rusty there, the DJ. The first time, there's his dad, the first time Hansi won a four-man race here in Königssee, Rusty was wearing the board shorts, and now on four-man day, it's a rule. He has to wear the board shorts. It's now their lucky motto, their lucky talisman.
Well, if it's working, can't mess with it.
Yeah, exactly.
As you said, there's no superstition in bobsled at all.
None whatsoever. But superstition doesn't win you races. What does win you races is calm behind the D-rings. And Hansi Lochner was not fazed by Francesco Friedrich's smoking run. He had one of his own in the bottom draw to go to, pulled it out and took gold. And in the end, by a big margin that the first heat didn't suggest, 1800s the margin of victory. Friedrich, who started 600s back, ending up 2200s back in third spot. Maxim Andrianov in fourth, Justin Kripps in fifth, Yun Jung-won in sixth, which means fifth and sixth in the European Championships, Nico Walter and Ivo de Bruin. And look, Monaco ninth, Marcus Treichel 10th. Some great racing here in Königssee as ever, and some good results for some of the smaller nations and the newer drivers. So Riz, entertaining stuff. Blimey, when Friedrich put that run down, we thought our money was quite safe on him, didn't we?
And so when he cleaned it up, we thought that it would be hard to contend with that, but Lochner came out and really put down what the definition is of a smoking run.
And Keeper Manis as well wasn't far away from his first World Cup win of the season, we thought. But in the end, Hansi Lochner had more than everybody, so the fans go home happy, if a little moist. And Lochner has his first win of the season. He's broken Friedrich's run, so all three German drivers have now won a four-man race in 4 starts.
How nice of them to share.
All on German tracks.
Our last German track of the year.
So I was about to say next week we go to Innsbruck, although you splitter, you're not. You're splitting to go back home to Calgary.
Yeah, just
home-ish.
Home-ish. I'm going to Calgary and going to get some runs on Whistler. On the home track, getting ready for World Championships.
Well, I don't blame you. We can't wait to get to Whistler in, I was going to say February for the Worlds, but in March for the World Championships as part of our 4-week North American swing. But before that, we have Innsbruck in Austria and Samoritz in Switzerland yet to come. So we'll have to wait and see if anybody can beat the Germans in a 4-man, and if anybody can beat the German, Francesco Friedrich, in a 2-man as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we might have a chance with Justin Kripps now staying on unexpectedly for Innsbruck at least.
Yeah, both Polignotto and Kripps will be in Innsbruck.
All right, well, we'll wait and see how that goes, and then hopefully the strikes at Frankfurt will allow them to catch up with their program as well, and catch up with you guys as you head to Whistler for a bit of pre-Worlds and pre-American Tour training. So that is it for a snowy, rainy, and on brief occasions, sunny Königssee weekend.
It was fun. Time to get out of the snow.
Race 4 of the BMW IBSF 4-man bobsleigh World Cup. Königssee, Bavaria, won by our third different winner this season, Hansi Lochner of Bavaria, claiming home victory over Oscar's Keeper Manis and Francesco Friedrich, who won the last 2 4-man outings. Max Andrianov, Nico Walter and Ivo de Bruin rounding out the top half dozen in the European Championships for the 3rd year in a row. Hansi Lochner is the European 4-man champion. He's also the world champion. This was the run. Alicia Rissling, he faced real stuff opposition from Francesco Friedrich and from Oscar's Keeper Manis and rose to the occasion.
Absolutely. The guys came out and knocked some time off their start time, and Hansi was able to lay down an awesome run for his hometown crowd and get everyone excited.
Yep, that'll help the pain of the ice burn from the crash in the 2-man in Altenburg 8 days ago. Delighted with that, responded well to the pressure, and there's a lot of pressure. When Friedrich lays down a smoker, he lays down a smoker. Hansi Lochner now moves up into 2nd place ahead of teammate Nico Walter. Oscar's Keeper Manis moves ahead of Nico as well, who had to sit in today after tearing his hamstring yesterday. But it is Francesco Friedrich with a silver, 2 golds and a bronze medal, who is our points leader. All sorts of different names up and down the order as well. Some really big weekends here for some of the smaller bobsledding nations and some of our new drivers. Dmitry Popov making his World Cup debut in 2 and 4 man. Certainly enjoyed his time in the leaders box, picking off 3 or 4 sleds in the second heat. But here is our podium for the World Cup and the European Championships. It is the same. Heike Grossvang, General Secretary of the IBSF, the International Bobsleigh Skeleton Federation, handing out the flowers to our 3rd place team. Francesco Friedrich and his crew, our 2nd place team. Oskars Melbardis of Latvia and his boys. And as ever, a smile on the... I keep saying Melbardis, keep a man as well. The results are the same, the name is confusing, even a simple man like me. And Hansi Lauren and his boys, Lochner, never not smiling. Except for maybe after the 2-man crash, but there he is, our race winner here at home in Berchtesgaden.
Another great race in Königssee.
Yeah, 3 really stormy races. Such a shame we didn't have the skeleton here. Their Europeans will be next week. Well, my thanks to Alicia Rissling for a great debut on the microphone. We'll see you when you catch up with you in North America. Thanks for coming in. Thank you too for joining us. The IBSF TV crew return with the action from Innsbruck next Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Till then, from me, Martin Haven, and everybody here in Königssee, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. We'll see you in Austria.